Welcome to the Box Gambling Show on the internet. This is the home of the money pick. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe. Week 15 Vegas spread picks. It's been a great year, but we aren't stopping. It's that time of the year where Santa Claus comes. Listen, you're not getting presents from me, but what you're getting is 5 money picks this week from Lawson Claus. Let's get this money. First game, Thursday Night Football. We got the Los Angeles Rams at the San Francisco 49ers. Rams plus 2.5. I got the Rams winning the cover. But listen, if you bet this game, if you think this is a great spot to bet, listen, you need to call that 1-800 number. Listen, I think the Rams win this because I do think the 49ers are a carcass of what they were. I do think the injuries are starting to add up. Look at the running back room. The top 3 running backs are down. We don't know if Bosa's going to play. I'm not sold on the health of Purdy. We get it. Last week, they completely blew out the Chicago Bears. Credit to the 49ers. A lot of people were doubting them, including me, but I'm still doubting them. And I've been telling you guys the whole year. I told you guys that was a bad spot for the Bills against the Rams. When the Rams have Nakua, Williams, Cooper Kupp, and the offensive line healthy, it's a top 5, top 6 offense in the league. Has it been pretty at times? No. But I do like McVay in this game over Shanahan. I've had a lot of issues with Shanahan. And I know there's a trend bet people like that says, oh, McVay always beats Shanahan. Throw that out. That's junk. That's junk. Like, McVay isn't running circles around anyone in this league anymore. But I am looking at this year, and I am looking at the 49ers in the red zone, and I'm not sold on them in those type of situations. Also, I'm not sold on this 49ers defense. I told everyone, it was early in the year, week 2, week 3. I said, I'm going to get against this 49ers defense whenever I can. And when I got these 3 studs, even the periphery receivers with the Rams, you got Corum as a backup running back playing well. I feel like the Rams are peaking now while everyone's talking about the Seahawks. Give me the Rams to win in the cover on the road Thursday Night Football. Next game, we got the Washington No-Names. Are we getting the old name back? At the New Orleans Saints. Washington -7. Money, money, money. Money. I just needed this to move down to -7 today, and I'm hammering it. Set up that alley-oop. I'm putting it home like LeBron. Give me Jaden Daniels over Jake Haney. I don't think we're getting Rattler. And I get them not wanting to go back to Rattler, and I think Haney's the more accurate passer at this stage in their NFL careers. But also, one thing I've liked about the Commanders the last 5-6 weeks is I feel like this defense is getting better. And I feel like we haven't been able to see the spice that Lattimore should be able to add to this mix. And I think that's a difference. I just think there's not enough playmakers on the Saints. And I get it, outside of McLaurin, like you got Noah Brown, you got McCaffrey, you got Ertz. Like there's not a lot there for Jaden Daniels. But also you have Jaden Daniels' legs. And I think the Commanders play better defense in this game. And I'm looking at the Saints in the Superdome, and I get it. It's scary. It's a great home field advantage. The fundamentals suck. Laying 7 with the Commanders in this spot. I get all of that, but I don't fear the Superdome. We walked in there with the Rams money pick. We're going to walk in there again victorious. Give me the Commanders -7. I'll elaborate more on this game as the week goes on. Make it a damn money pick. Next game, we got the Miami Dolphins I should use the left hand. At the Houston Texans. Fins -3. Fins with the upset. I don't want to bet it, though. I don't want to get against Stroud. But the reason why I'm going Fins here is everyone wants to talk about Stroud. Everyone wants to talk about the interior of the Texans' offensive line. I have to tell you, man, I'm more concerned about Houston's defense. The reason why I was bullish on Houston going into this year, I love the young Bulls on defense. I love D'Amico as a coach, and I felt like they would grow. And Will Anderson and Hunter, I felt like that would be the best unit rushing the passer. But that game against the Titans startled me, and it wasn't because of the offense. It wasn't because of Fairbairn. It was because that defense completely collapsed. And you have a Miami offense finding their groove. Is it a great offensive line? No, it's honestly a terrible offensive line. But they have found rhythm, and Mike McDaniel isn't fading this year. I know you guys want to bury him. I know you guys don't like him. But he is finding a formula with this Miami offense. We're seeing Tyreek get going. I just think in this game, man, it comes down to which team is in better rhythm. Which team do you trust more? And right now, for me, it's the Fins. And I didn't think I would be saying this 4 or 5 weeks ago. And I'm not sure the bye week helps D'Amico and the Texans. Give me the Fins with an upset. I don't want any part of betting this. Next game, we got the New York Jets at the Jacksonville Jags. Jets -3. Jets winning the cover. I think it's 3.5 on a lot of books. I can't bet the Jets, and I would not advocate anyone doing that. But if you did, I would not smug my nose. Here's why. Listen, man, I'm not surprised by the Jags upset. I picked it on Tuesday. And when you look at the Jags, man, I've said this defense has been playing hard the last 6-7 weeks. But there are limits to this, and I'm not sure they can get consistent pressure on Aaron Rodgers. And if Aaron Rodgers has time, he's going to cook. And there's still a lot of dangerous weapons on the Jets. And I've been saying all year, it's a top 10 offense for the Jets. Do they make a lot of mistakes? Yes. Are they extremely frustrating? Yes. But it's still a top 10 offense. And I think that's the difference when you're talking about Mac Jones on the other side. Another storyline to this game. Listen, I don't know who's more intransigent. I posed a question on Instagram. Who's more intransigent? Is it Rodgers? Is it Diggs? For me, it's honestly Rodgers, if it's even possible. And you saw him have his best game in 3 years. Once it was pretty much evident that he's not going to be back with the Jets. He's job hunting now. I think we see better effort. We're also seeing better mobility out of him. This Jets defense sucks, but is Mac Jones really going to be the one to push the buttons? I think the Jags run it well. Bigsby props over. But other than that, I don't see a lot of offense for the Jags. The Jets are the more explosive team. I think Rodgers being old, he thrives in that warm Florida weather like a senior citizen. Give me the Jets -3.5, -3. I want to bet it, but we already have 5 on the plate. Next game, we got the Dallas Cowboys at the Carolina Panthers. Panthers -2.5. Money, 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 money. I'm sure when you woke up this morning on your list of things you wanted to do, probably near the bottom of that list was bet the Carolina Panthers. But hear me out. Listen. We've been flirting with the Panthers all year. I've pretty much picked them to cover 90% of the week so far. Have I looked dumb early in the year? Yes. Have I looked brilliant the last 6 weeks? Yes. That's how this goes. I'm not beating my chest. It's just how this goes. But if you give me Cooper Rush or Bryce Young, I'm going Bryce Young. And we have to accept the fact that Bryce Young has played very good not very good, but pretty damn good football the last 6 weeks. And I think that's the difference in this game. Now, the Cowboys are getting the run game going with Dowdle, and we know that's how you attack the Panthers' defense. There's just not a lot there in the front 7, although they are fighting, and Clowney should be playing. Do I like the Panthers at -2.5? Did I think we would maybe get the Panthers +1 to really slam this bet home? I did. But I don't think the Panthers' defensive struggles are exploitable from a Cowboys offense that's just It's not that good. It wasn't even that good when Dak was in this. So when you look at this game, I feel like the way to attack the Cowboys front seven isn't throwing it every down like the Bengals did. You saw that pressure. You saw Parsons. You saw them come at Burrow in waves. The way to attack the Cowboys front seven is you get down and you run it and you pump Chuba Hubbard up the middle 18 to 23 times. I listen, that injury to Jonathan Brooks is really bad luck, but I actually think it helps us here. I don't want him eating into Chuba's carries. I want to see a steady dose of Chuba Hubbard, play action with Bryce Young. Give me Leggett, give me Thielen, give me the Panthers to win in the cover. Make it a damn money pick. Next game, the Keystone State. We got Pittsburgh Steelers, Russell Wilson, at the Philadelphia Eagles. Steelers are +5. Steelers to cover, Eagles to win. Probably should be betting the Steelers here because I feel like 5 is too much, and I'm the biggest Eagles guy there is. And this has nothing to do with the Eagles not covering. Like, I really got mad at some of you guys this year. You guys thinking like laying 12, laying 14 points is easy work because the Lions blew through the Jags one game. Like, it's not easy work in this league. Don't disrespect the teams in this league. It's not college ball. But when I get into this game, the reason why the Steelers aren't a money pick is because Pickens got a grade 2 hamstring, and I don't think he's going to play this game. And I absolutely love this Eagles defense, and I want to bet the team total under for the Steelers. But I also think this Eagles offense has a lot of work to do. I also haven't loved what I've seen out of Hurts this year. I do think the Steelers can load up against the run. Have I felt like the Steelers defense has shown vulnerabilities this year? Yeah, like the Colts game scared me. I think you can run it on them better than you could in previous years. But if the Steelers just let Hurts beat you, if you pound the box and take away Saquon, I do like their chances to get a lot of stops this game, and I think Hurts turns it over more than Russell Wilson. I think the Eagles win it late. I just think they have better playmakers, and I do think the Steelers team is overrated. I don't think the Steelers have the playmakers to really put this game over the edge, and Highsmith coming back is really going to help the Steelers. But where has Watt been this year? Where has he been? And I think that's the difference why the Eagles win this game. They'll be able to contain Watt. There's not going to be too many big plays from the Steelers without Pickens. Steelers cover, Eagles win. This is one you should just sit back and watch, but I'm sure a lot of you guys are going to be betting the Steelers. Next game, we got the Baltimore Ravens at the New York Giants. Ravens -15. Ravens winning the cover. Guys, like, I don't like laying the 15 points. Like, I don't like laying more than 9.5 points. One of the few times I bet -9.5 this year was the Ravens against the Broncos. And if you're going to lay this many points, you want to go with explosive offenses like the Ravens, like the Commanders, like the Lions. Like, that's who you want to go with. So I'm going to go the Ravens here, but this is more about the mentality of the Giants. Drew Lock almost threw it 50 times. And the strength of this Giants offense the whole year has been to run the ball. But we know the Ravens can stop that. And when you're throwing it 50 times with Drew Lock, it's not really about Drew Lock. It's not really about Neighbors. It's about you got 2 practice squad quality right tackle and left tackle, and no quarterback can function in that mess. And I've been telling you the whole year, this Giants squad, the dumpster fire that is the Giants, is much bigger than Daniel Jones. Give me the Ravens -15 to win in the cover on the road. I wonder what it would be if the Ravens were at home. Probably like -17.5. Next game, we got the Cincinnati Bengals at the Tennessee Titans. Bengals -5. I want to make this a money pick, but there's so much other meat on this Week 15 bone. I'm going to lay it off, but give me the Bengals to win in the cover. I'm just getting against this Titans team. I don't feel like they're a well-coached team. I don't feel like they're a disciplined team, and I feel like they have one of the worst offensive lines I've ever seen. And Will Levis is going to get a lot of the blame, but Callahan should be getting a ton of the blame too. He brings in his dad, one of the best offensive line coaches, but it just feels like nepotism because there's not a lot of work being done there, and I just don't see it. And I see a Titans defense that does seem a little bit frustrated, a little bit flabbergasted with the situation that occurs week in and week out. And at the end of the day, we know the Bengals can't play defense. Like, they even made Cooper Rush look good. They made Russell Wilson. I got people telling me Russell Wilson's a top 10 quarterback. That's kind of the Bengals defense. That's the treatment you get. You get the red carpet. They make it easy for you. You can dig them out, pull their tracks out. Like, we know what you can do to them. But when I'm looking at this game, man, I just think the Bengals have way too much explosion. Titans do have a very good secondary, but the pass rush really isn't going to get to Burrow like we've seen in previous weeks. Give me the Bengals to win in the cover with the -5. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you share the videos. Get on Patreon. Get on executive tier, $12 a month. Patreon, you get the Discord if you're an executive tier. Let's get the money. Link in the description. Next game, we got the Buffalo Bills at the Detroit Lions. Bills plus 2.5. Money, money, money. I don't want to do this. I really don't. Dan Campbell built this channel. Like, he's the reason why I have a car to drive around in. It's just with the bets the last 3 years. I don't think I've ever bet against the Lions, but give me the Bills to win in the cover. Listen, man, I do think this Lions defense, I'm not saying they're cooked because they were very competitive against the Packers offense, but I don't rate the Packers offense like you guys do. I don't rate Jordan Love like you guys do. But I think Josh Allen, outside of Saquon Barkley and King Henry, he's been the MVP this year, and he's been absolutely just magisterial. And I think that's too much for the Lions defense to deal with. Maybe Anzalone comes back. They're going to need him. We've seen Cook. We've seen Ray Davis get open in the passing game. So I feel like that's a pivotal matchup. If Anzalone isn't there, you could see the Bills cooking them underneath and that linebacking core. No Malcolm Rodriguez, who's also pretty decent in coverage for a linebacker. And you do worry about the Bills' run defense, and you do worry about this spot for the Bills. Second week straight on the road, you got absolutely whooped by the Rams offense, but I do think this game turns into a shootout. And in a shootout type situation, I'm going Josh Allen over Jared Goff. I also feel like you can slow down this Lions offense. I do think the Bills, I think they invite the run game. Like, if you look at their scheme, they play a lot of soft boxes. Like, and they got Matt Milano back, which should help. But I'm in no way saying the Bills are going to stop the run. But what I am saying, I feel like there's other dice rolls. I feel like there's other schematic things that McDermott could throw here to maybe stifle the Lions running game. They're not going to stop it even if they do 8-man bear fronts. Like, let's be honest about it. But we need to be honest about the Bills style of defense. They keep those two safeties back 30 yards. They're going to creep up, man, and I do think the Bills play better defense than the Lions in this game. Give me the Bills to win in the cover. It's crazy I'm doing this. Next game, we got the Kansas City Chiefs at the Cleveland Browns. Chiefs -4. When I picked this game on Monday when we were talking about the opening lines, it was like 6.5, 7. But with -4, I got to go Chiefs to win in the cover. Been getting against the Chiefs 2-0 this year in games I bet against them. Thank you, Chargers, last week. I'm worried about the Chiefs, but I'm also worried about the Browns. I'm worried about this Browns defense. Sorry about that, guys. I'm worried about this Browns defense, and I feel like Jim Schwartz has really laid an egg this year. I feel like this Jameis Winston experience could have been so much better if you would change up the scheme. They play far too much man-to-man, and we know what the Chiefs are going to do. They're going to out-design him, and I'm not sure the Browns are able to get pressure, even with this Chiefs offensive line being abysmal. And Jameis Winston will play good. He will make big plays, but this Browns team always has 4 or 5 massive mistakes. And we need to remember, when you're betting spreads, and I'm not using this as a cope by any means, but when we're betting spreads, these games come down to 3 or 4 plays. Like Kadarius Toney fumbling a punt killed the over in the Steelers-Browns game. There's little things like that the Browns do every single game that just make it hard for them to cover. Give me the Chiefs to win in the cover with the -4. You should not be betting this. Next game, we got the Indianapolis Colts at the Denver Broncos. Broncos -4. Money. Broncos winning the cover. You remember when you guys told me the money pick of the year was Colts at the Patriots? I'm already seeing you guys getting excited about the Colts again after that one didn't hit. And trust me, I've been waiting to get against the Broncos this year. I've been waiting to get against the Steelers offense this year. I've been waiting to get against Bo Nix, but this just isn't the week. This is a Colts defense. Yes, ever since DeForest Buckner came back, they have been a lot better against the run. But they still have their issues, and they still can't cover anyone, and I feel like they have a coaching advantage in this game. Do I like Shane Steichen? Yes, but I feel like he has 2 hands tied behind his back with Anthony Richardson. And I don't like this Colts offensive line against the Broncos defensive line. And I know every year they say, oh, Colts offensive line's awesome. Well, they're good at run blocking, but when it comes to pass blocking, when they have to deal with athleticism on the defensive line, they come up short time and time again. And I'm not sure these Colts wide receivers get separation. Like Alec Pierce, it maybe gets the most separation out of all these wide receivers, and that's scary. I think Pittman's overrated. I think Josh Downs is good, but AR doesn't know how to use them. So I'm going to get against Anthony Richardson here, and I got to go with the quarterback that's just playing better ball. And I have to go with Sean Payton in this game, and we have to remember, Mile High is not a fucking joke, man. It's a place where opposing teams go to die, even if the Broncos stink. And this Broncos team just doesn't stink. Give me the Broncos to win in the cover with the -4. I just think they played the better defense in this game, and I think that's going to make a huge bit of difference. Next game, we got the New England Patriots. Drake at the Arizona Cardinals. Patriots +4.5. Patriots to cover, Cards to win. Man, I just feel like this worked all the way down from 6. And that's just too much for me to want to bet it or pick a side. And we have a Cardinals team that just didn't show up against the Seahawks. We don't know what we're going to get. But one thing we do know is the Patriots offensive line can't block anyone. And Drake May's going to make plays. But also we have to remember this Cardinals defense has been good the whole year. Give me the Patriots to cover, Cardinals to win. There is no science. Next game, we got the Green Bay Packers at the Seattle Seahawks. Packers are -3 even. It's leaning to -2.5. I think it'll be -2.5. So let's use the -2.5. I got the Packers to win in the cover. And this is a very tough game to pick because I feel like the Packers are one of the most overrated teams in the league. I feel like their offense is overrated. I feel like their quarterback's overrated. I feel like their defense is overrated. And you have a Seahawks team that is coming in with the wind at their back. 2 big wins in a row. A dominating performance against the Cardinals. The Hawks defense is doing better against the run. And that's the main component to beat Green Bay. But even with that being said, even with my criticisms against Jordan Love, I do like Jordan Love in this matchup against Geno. Both turn the ball over a ton, but I also feel like Jordan Love is just simply better. I wish I had more science to offer this game. I don't think the Seahawks are all that good, even with them peaking at the moment. Give me the Packers to win in the cover. I do not want anyone betting this game. We got 2 Monday night games. First Monday night game, we got the Atlanta Falcons at the Las Vegas Raiders. Falcons minus 4.5. Money. Money, Falcons winning the cover. Make it a damn money pick. Pick of the week. Pick of the week. I listen, I get it. We've seen Kirk the last 2 weeks. We got against him against the Chargers game, in the Chargers game. I think we were all a little bit surprised about that second interception against the Vikings. But this is a Desmond Ridder game, and when you say Desmond Ridder, I say bet the other side. Even when Arthur Smith created masterpieces and Bijan and Algiers put up 200 rushing yards, Ridder would find a way to throw away games and throw away spreads, and I think that's what's going to happen here. Maybe the Raiders are able to run the ball well. We know this Falcons defense can't play a lick. Did you see their secondary against Sam Darnold? I mean, I did call the Sam Darnold over player props and alts, but they were even underwhelming for my low expectations. I just don't think Desmond Ridder is the guy to exploit that. He's not the guy to push it downfield. A lot of it's going to be underneath, and he doesn't really have much pocket presence. The last 3 weeks, the Falcons have gotten a little bit more pressure. I mean, that's not saying a lot because they were one of the worst pressure defenses in the league going into 3 weeks ago. But I do think this is about Kirk Cousins. I do think people are burying him. I do think Kirk Cousins is ashamed with himself, especially with that performance going back to Minnesota. I think we see a heel turn from Kirk Cousins. I think we see a Kirko Chains in a bad mood, and I think he whips work against the Raiders. Now you worry about the Falcons pass blocking. You worry about it because they're better going forward. But I do think they'll have balance, and I don't think Kirk needs to put up a lot of points to cover this spread. I think 20-21 is good enough. Give me the Falcons to win in the cover. Next game, we got the Chicago Bears at my Minnesota Vikings. Bears +7. Well, I went way too over on this video. Bears cover, Vikings win. I don't know what Bears team we're going to see. I really don't. I don't. I just think this is a lot of points. And I did like the Vikings performance, but I got to be honest, that was the first good Vikings performance I've seen since like week 7. So I don't know what Vikings type of performance we're going to see. And listen, I'm not talking results. I'm talking performances. I know everyone loves talking about results, and the Vikings have racked up a lot of wins, but I need to see good performances. And like I said, that was the first good performance I've seen since week 6 or week 7. Bears had one of their worst performances of the year. Do we know what they're going to do? I don't fucking know. Bears cover, Vikings win. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you share the video. The best gambling show on the internet. Come get this money with me.